Hello YouTube! I thought I'd do a quick weigh-in and kind of recap this past week. I'm going to start making vlogs on Fridays because my Weight Watcher meetings are Thursday nights. So the last time I weighed myself at my house, so not Weight Watcher meetings, but at my house, was when I recorded it, March 18th. And I weighed, I think 243, right around there. So that was about 10 days ago. So I'm going to go ahead and weigh myself now. And then I'll talk about Weight Watchers and all that stuff. Oh, it says E. Why does that always happen when I'm actually trying to be efficient with time? Come on, scale. Okay. 238.0. So I'm really happy with that number, actually. I wasn't quite sure what it would be. That's pretty much what I expected, but yeah, I'm happy with that. So 238.0, yeah, so that's like 5 pounds in a little over a week. Now my Weight Watchers weigh-ins are not the same as that, so I'll talk about that too. But anyway, so this past week I have had about, I would say out of the 7 days, 4 were really good and on point, and 3 were not so good. So my goal with making these vlogs is just to kind of put everything out there and be really honest, because otherwise there's no point, really. So I kind of self-sabotaged for a few days. Yeah, so out of the 7 days, like I joined Weight Watchers, I had 2 really good days. And then I had this one day where I was at Walgreens, I'll be specific. I was at Walgreens and I was checking out and they had those damn Cadbury eggs. I assume you know what Cadbury eggs are. They're, like thick chocolate candy with like cream filling, or they have different fillings, but the cream ones are the ones I'm talking about. And they're not good for you, and I love them so much. So anyway, I bought 2 of them and I went to my car with the rest of the stuff that I had picked up, and I ate both of them like in 2 minutes by myself in my car. And after I ate them, I thought to myself, like, what am I doing? I'm not saying that you could never eat Cadbury eggs or I could never have that kind of stuff, because that's the last thing I want to do is like take away everything from myself. But the way I was doing it, it was like, it's almost like I feel like I'm getting away with something, like it's a secret and nobody knows, and so I'm getting away with it, when really nothing else matters except for how I feel about it and how it affects my body and my weight and what that means to me. So I'm self-sabotaging, and it's so frustrating when you do things to slow your progress down it's just mindless for me. But the good side, the upside, is that I did recognize it after I did it. The downside is that after I did that, then I continued to make poor choices as the day went on. Like we were out that night, and so we picked up dinner from Subway, and instead of making a healthier choice, which is really easy to do at a place like Subway, I chose to eat chips and drink Coke because I had already what I felt was an off day. So that's the kind of mentality that I'm really trying to kick, and it's hard when you're in that moment to kind of get back on track and self-motivate and, think, people who don't have an issue with food or people who don't have an issue with their weight, they can eat things like, gotta fix my hair, like birthday cake or pizza or whatever, but they just do it in moderation, and it's not this big emotional thing, I don't think. I don't know what that's like to have a normal relationship with food, unfortunately. But I assume that they don't feel really bad about it, and they just do it in moderation, and then they make other good choices, and everything kind of evens out. So that's what I'm going for. So with all that said, I did have a few days where I didn't track quite right, and I just was not on point. And then about today's Friday, on Monday, I really started to get it together. Monday lunchtime, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make like a super lean protein type lunch. I did that. I was drinking a lot of water. I went on a walk with my kids, and I just started feeling a lot better. So so I got back on track, and I'm proud of that. And it shows on the scale to a certain extent. I didn't have as much weight loss in just this past week with Weight Watchers as I would have hoped to have, but I did have a loss, and that's what matters. So yeah, so the lean proteins, like eating, eggs and lean meats. I'm not a big fish eater, but I'll eat fish. Or my husband makes rice all the time, rice and beans. I think I've mentioned before he's Jamaican. I'm not sure. I think I've mentioned that. So he's an amazing cook. He cooks a lot of Jamaican cuisine, and a lot of that is super starchy, which does not work for my body type or the way my body deals with food and my activity level being low. That's just really hard for me to not gain weight with those kind of foods. So instead of just, scooping out rice and beans that, also has coconut milk in it and a lot of really fattening stuff, and just scooping it out on my plate and not really thinking about it, I had like a fourth of the serving that I would have before, and I still felt really full. So kind of just focusing on those obvious choices of going for more, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and avoiding the starches and processed flour, white flour, as much as possible. So that's been helping me. Drinking water, these are all basic things. So yeah, all right. So I was going to talk about Weight Watchers. I have this little booklet. So I had my meeting last night, as I mentioned. I think I mentioned. My first weigh-in was 242.2 pounds. Last night I weighed in at 240.4. So that was a 1.8 loss in a week. Now, as you saw, I weighed in at 240.4 last night, and then this morning at home I weighed in at 238. So that's a little like 2 pounds. Like 2 pounds, I know weight fluctuates, but it's kind of enough to sort of make you feel like So my meetings are at 6 o'clock in the evening, and I also wore jeans, but I wore jeans both times. So that doesn't really mean anything. Anyway, so with it being that late in the evening, it kind of makes it feel like I'm always going to weigh more there than I weigh at home in the morning. The meetings are good. I like Weight Watchers. I like it a lot. It has been a struggle for me to write everything down, but it's also been really helpful. And that was one thing I wanted to mention about the Cadbury eggs and the Subway bad choices. I wrote all that down, which is really big for me. And I think that helped me make better choices just by writing it down and holding myself accountable. So, yeah. So that's pretty much it. I still feel really, really motivated. I did my first kind of speed walk around the neighborhood by myself to kind of prepare for Couch to 5K. So I've gone on just about 3 walks, but no jogging at all, just because I did not feel ready physically. But I think I'm getting there. I think I need to start pushing myself a little bit more. I'll do a little body shot here. I am wearing what I think I was wearing last time. It's like a nursing tank top, so it's like major cleavage, unfortunately. There we go. So that's kind of where I am. You can see me from the side. So I'm 7 weeks postpartum. So I definitely have a little bit more here, right there, than I did before I was pregnant. But, I don't look that different than I did before I got pregnant, in all honesty. So, yeah. My biggest problem area, or what I'm the most self-conscious about, sorry, this is so low. It just, this doesn't stay up really well. My biggest problem area is my arms. I feel like I hold weight in my arms like no other. Some people hold the weight in their face the most. This feels weird. Okay, I turned my phone the wrong way. There we go. Sorry. A lot of people, gain weight in their face or their hips or this or that. I feel like I have weight all over, obviously. But my arms and the back fat, that's probably what makes me the most self-conscious. So those are the areas I'm hoping to kind of work on the most as far as activity and exercise goes. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, let me know. Bye.